And Auburn will try to continue to restore seed line order here at the tournament. Ole Miss looking to crash another party. Jayla Lassiter, Maddie Penta, and the SEC tournament quarterfinals are underway at 1:50 in the afternoon here at Fayetteville, Arkansas, with a strike to the freshman from the state of Alabama. Auburn and Ole Miss meeting for the 4th time this season. And Lassiter flails a fly ball to the center, and Michaela Packer is there. A quick out for Maddie Penta to begin the game.
That changeup that she just got Lassiter out on is going to complement her stuff that's more up in the zone.
Maddie Penta only allowed 4 hits in the regular season and 2 starts to Ole Miss. Tate Whitley had 2 of those. She bats now and takes one low. Whitley had 2 of Ole Miss's 9 hits yesterday as well, 2 for 5, and ended up scoring the go-ahead run in the 10th, singling to set the table for that Paige Smith home run. Strike is called by the plate umpire Cameron Ellison. Smokey Eds at first, James Colsey at third. 3-man umpire and crew for this first quarterfinal game. That's a bunt foul by Whitley. We saw Ole Miss really use small ball effectively yesterday. LSU committed 4 errors. Auburn has been a much improved defensive team this year, though we could also say that about LSU coming into the game. Ole Miss does put pressure on defenses.
Yeah, especially someone like Tate Whitley, who has a lot of speed and experience in the box.
Whitley to first. That is snared above the dirt. Bree Ellis makes the catch for out number 2.
Already in this game, Maddie Penta is going to her off-speed pitch a lot. About 58 miles an hour for both of the outs.
You surprised by that in the first 6 pitches?
Yeah, I am a little bit, giving a different look.
Here's Paige Smith. There's another off-speed pitch, and that was as tasty as any of them.
Yeah, and that pitch right there, she's giving these hitters already early in this game a completely different look than maybe if you scouted her coming into this game for where she likes to throw, and where you could say usually is where she throws to her strengths. Down in the zone again there, because when you look at her heat map where she gets her swings and misses, it's the red area that's more up in the zone. That is with her rise ball, likes to go up and in to right-handed hitters, but that area up in the zone with her rise ball is usually her bread and butter, where she gets her most swings and misses going down in the zone to the first 3 hitters here though.
Down again, Smith able to wait back on it, and Paige Smith has a gapper. Smith with extra base hits in consecutive at-bats. The game-winning home run in the 10th yesterday, and a first-inning double today.
Yeah, again, they just keep going to this off-speed pitch, 58 miles an hour, and Paige Smith did her homework for the first 2 hitters that came up to the plate before her. She's on time with 59, and she gets herself to second base. A double for Paige Smith with 2 outs, a hitter who has been so hot for Ole Miss late in the season.
Now 36 hits on the year, 17 of the 36 for extra bases. Savannah Sykes the batter. That is inside, it hit her. Got Sykes right around the knee. And Ole Miss has 2 runners on in the first.
Looked like this pitch just slipped out of her hand. In fact, I think that Linsonby is looking to get something more up and in that would reflect or mirror that heat map that we showed you, but it falls out of Maddie Penta's hand and ends up just getting Sykes 2 on, 2 out for Ole Miss.
Only the 9th batter that Maddie's hit in 196 2/3 innings. And here is Michaela Alley. Alley, a first pitch fly ball. into right field, and Isis Tresvik ends the inning. An Ole Miss threat is neutralized. Nelly in the SEC, Auburn with 61 home runs, 84 steals. They can hit for power, they can run for speed. And Nelia Peralta will lead off and take like a low strike. Now that's not a pitch that Caitlin Riley got much in the first inning yesterday.
You're so right. And that is exactly what I thought about too. When LSU and Ole Miss were playing, that bottom of the strike zone was just not there like that.
Well, if you're a pitcher and you get that first pitch,
oh, you're like, yes, it's there today. Especially because she is a drop ball pitcher. Like, she wants that to get called, and then as the game goes on, she wants to be able to work even a little bit lower than that pitch and see what she can get.
Peralta into left center field. Another smooth swing in a season that's been stacked with them for Nelia Peralta. Nearly a 500 on base percentage, and she leads off with a hit for Auburn. Here is the Tiger lineup. Sophomores in Peralta, Ellis, Tresvik, and Lisenby. 1, 3, 4, and 6. Nelia leading the team with that .340 batting average, and some moving and shaking for Mickey Dean here. Denver Bryant's batting in the top 3 for the first time at second. Isis Tresvik is hitting cleanup for the first time for Auburn. And there is Bryant. So Mickey Dean shaking some things up a little bit. Some of his better performers have struggled a bit down the stretch, and Denver Bryant has not. 5 for her last 7. Coming off a terrific weekend against Mississippi State. Also had 4 walks in that series. So here is Bryant, the junior, who will swing at just about everything, but has real power. And takes one here for a 1-1 count.
You know, when I think of this Auburn team, I think of Nelia Peralta, I think of Denver Bryant, I think of Bree Ellis, the first 3 in their order, who really had a coming out party last year with their offense. This is a very young team, but turned a lot of heads with the way that they swung the bat last year. And it's been impressive to me to watch how they've built on last season. Really young, a younger team even last season. A year more of experience coming into this 2023 season, and it really does show.
There's only one senior in this lineup. That's Lindsey Garcia batting 5th. The last couple of years have been seen as some of the best recruiting classes Auburn's had in a while. And just think about what they could look like next year. That is a terrifying thought. But what they look like this year is a 3 seed. On a 3-1, Bryant always going to get her swing off in a hitter's count, knocks it foul.
You saw the pitch before, and the fact that Caitlin Riley will call her own sign sometimes, and it will stand out because you're just not used to seeing a pitcher toe the rubber and then call her own sign with her hand, just like she's doing now.
3-2. Ainsley Furbush did that a couple of times in relief yesterday for Ole Miss. Furbush threw 5 1/3 scoreless, hitless innings in relief. Brooke Vestal got a big out. Ole Miss pitched very well against a balanced LSU team for that 5-3 win.
And it's worth saying too that the pitchers calling the pitches is something that they worked on in the fall. This isn't just willy-nilly like, hey, we're just gonna start doing this randomly in the month of May. This is something that they worked on all the way back in the fall. Have confidence in their pitchers to take the reins.
Bryant goes down swinging. Caitlin Riley, who had just 1 strikeout, 22 batters faced yesterday, gets the 2nd of this game.
And it's so satisfying when you do call your own pitch and then you get the strikeout. This is a drop ball that actually stays a little bit more up in the zone, kind of curves away from Denver Bryant, but it gets the job done. And the way that Caitlin Riley likes to throw is more down in the zone. So when you look at her heat map of her swings and misses, look at how it's in that lower quadrant. That red area is where she gets the most swings and misses this season. That would be her drop ball in the inner half to righties, outside corner to lefties.
Well, Ole Miss is going to do what it did so often yesterday. Take a timeout on what seems like an unusual spot, but there is a method to the madness for Jamie Traxel, right? Jason, we're going to have to do a little timeout tracker today up here. That's timeout number 1 for Ole Miss. And it did seem to work out more often than not yesterday, even in spots where you might scratch your head. For example, you just get a strikeout. Why call a timeout now? Well, we can't answer that, but we'll see if it works out again for Ole Miss. And the batter is Bree Ellis.
Yeah, and yesterday, by the way, they took 7 team conferences in 10 innings. So 7 yesterday, today would be 8. We'll just keep on tracking. It's very unique to the way that they play and try to control the speed of the game and their team.
Jamie Traxel in year 3, and she certainly had success. Going to make the NCAA tournament for the 10th time in 12 tries as a head coach, not including the COVID 2020 season. It's a delayed steal on a ball in the dirt. Peralta's in there. The throw was not caught by Kamoku anyway. Nelia Peralta with her 5th stolen base in 8 tries.
Really good footwork by Kayla Kamoku, the second baseman, who comes over for the steal, Kevin, and trying to avoid obstruction. At last minute, she got herself in a different position with her feet. At one point, she was straddling the base, and then she read the hop of the ball, tried to avoid obstruction. I thought that was really great footwork.
What do you have to do to avoid obstruction there as a second baseman?
Just try to not cover the entire bag with your feet. The runner has to be able to have a path to get to the base, and she made this, look at this last minute turn right there to open up the base for the runner to be able to get there.
So a runner at second as Ellis swings through strike 2. They called a wild pitch officially, by the way, for Peralta advancing to second. And the sophomore slugger, Bree Ellis, ropes one out of play. Ellis, Auburn's leading power hitter with a dozen homers. Leads him in slugging percentage, second best on base percentage on the team at .412.
It's her mom, Molly, right there on the right.
She's so locked in on the at-bat, she doesn't even know the sunglasses have fallen right in front of her nose.
It's one of those days, though. It's like, do we keep the sunglasses on, take them off?
And there's this little haze peeking through the clouds. That's okay. Well, trade rain for any kind of haze. 3-2 coming. Bree Ellis takes ball 4. And the Tigers have 2 on with 1 out against Caitlin Riley. That walk puts Isis Tresvik in a pivotal spot. '56th game of the season and the first time that Isis Tresvik bats higher than 5th. Sophomore who transferred into Auburn from North Carolina A&T. Very small school, historically black college. Auburn saw Tresvik at a tournament last year where she homered off of Maddie Penta. So that was a pretty easy sell for the Auburn coaches. You take Maddie Penta deep, no matter how small the school is, you got some game. 8 home runs in her first Auburn year. And Tresvik powers one the other way, and that ball will land foul out of the reach of the right fielder, Naomi Jones.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. Coaches will see some players in the transfer portal and they're like, wait, I remember that girl. She hit a home run off of us. Wait, I remember Shanice Dells at Tulsa. She pitched well against us in the regional, ends up at Arkansas. Like, whenever the teams get a first-hand look at some of these players and then see them in the transfer portal, and they already put a good foot forward to catch a coach's eyes and attention.
1-2 to Tresvik. Let's check in with Courtney for the first time today.
Well, guys, speaking of Isis Tresvik, watch out, because Mickey Dean told us this season, look for her in the circle in the future. She throws 71, and her changeup, wicked.
Yeah, hasn't pitched a ton this year, but they really like her arm. And Tresvik, they like her bat too. That's in the left. Peralta's going to come home, and she will be out. An aggressive send, and maybe a little too aggressive from third, as Tate Whitley cuts down Peralta at the dish.
That was a really good at bat by Isis Tresvik. First two pitches, she swung way out of the zone, chased a drop ball from Caitlin Riley. I'm not sure why later in the at-bat she came more up with her drop ball, but Tresvik was able to fight it off and send it through the 5-6 hole, and Peralta was getting sent the whole way. I thought that tag may have beat her live. It was close. I guess that foot just got in there, a bit of a higher tag that allowed her foot to get to the base before the tag was put on, and we will not have a review.
So second and third runners moved up. Lindsey Garcia will get one through, and Auburn's going to get that run and one more. The only senior in the lineup, Lindsey Garcia, with a 2-run hit. And the Tigers will strike first in the opening inning.
Lindsey Garcia being aggressive early in the count. Another drop ball that's just more up in the zone. She ends up getting the top of the ball, but a good, hard, firm, aggressive swing, able to get that ground ball through the middle of the infield. 2-run score for Auburn, and they score first.
And that pitch down and in. That hit the batter, Aubrey Lisenby. Or did it? Lisenby went down to first. Cameron Ellison never ruled a hit by pitch, and Cameron Ellison is going to call Lisenby back to the batter's box. We'll see if Auburn and Mickey Dean want to use a challenge here. The folks in the review center. So it's a wild pitch and a 1-0 count on Lisenby. And that ball almost hit her too.
Yeah, she likes to go to that inside corner, her arm side to right-handed hitters with that drop.
Aubrey Lisenby with a ground ball to Kamoku, and Ole Miss is out of the first, but Auburn is in the lead. 3 hits and a walk. Lindsey Garcia, he's been not only a great coach but a great teacher in his life. 17 years as a head coach overall. Was at Radford. James Madison really built that program up to what we ended up seeing a few years ago in the World Series, and now year 6 at Auburn. One of 4 active coaches to lead 3 different teams to the NCAA tournament. Strike to Lexi Brady, and certainly we said this to Mickey a few days ago, but we're all thinking about Mickey, his family, his father, and can't imagine what it must be like to have to coach through these circumstances, but he has handled it with grace and with humility, as we've known him to do.
Yeah, not easy to show up to the place where you have so many memories with your parents and move forward.
That's what this game's about for so many people, right? Fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, softball, baseball, having a catch. Mickey's pitcher, Maddie Penta, here in the second inning. 1-2 on Lexi Brady, the Ole Miss catcher who really came through in the 8th inning yesterday, or in the 8th spot. Doubled, singled, reached on an error in the 3rd and ended up scoring a run. And she gets moved up from 8 to 6. That is popped up, and Lisenby makes the catch. A little give in the net on the finish there from Aubrey Lisenby.
A great job right off the bat that Aubrey Lisenby immediately went up, found the ball, actually turned toward her right side, but the ball ended up going more toward her left side, but still was able to recover and work around the umpire who was directly behind her to try to get to that ball before it hit the wall, before it hit the ground. Good effort by the catcher to get that out.
On the way for Kayla Kamoku. Kamoku comes in on a 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts, trying to snap out of that. The sophomore from Hawaii. Second best batting average and slugging percentage on the roster. Ole Miss team hitting .270 as a team, slugging only .427. Not a ton of home run power. They've hit just 46 on the year. They really have won a lot of games with their pitching and defense.
It seems like a little bit more of that power, though, is coming second half of the season.
Seven home runs, third most on the team. An off-speed pitch here is volleyed out to Peralta.
Guys, I thought it was interesting, both of these coaches, how much emphasis they put on pitching and defense this year. I mean, that came up immediately when we talked to both throughout the season, really, and going into this tournament.
Yeah, for Auburn, it's easy to look at their big hitters, Courtney. Obviously, Matt Penta in the circle, but Ole Miss, it's a deeper pitching staff. Not one ace that's going to ride for 6-7 innings like Auburn has with Penta. McKenna Clee-Thermos, Caitlin Riley, Ainsley Furbush have all thrown between 84 and 92 innings this year. And as we've seen a lot of teams already do it in this tournament, it's a more balanced pitching staff for Ole Miss. But now you're down 2 against Maddie Penta. Feels like the weight of the world's on your offensive shoulders.
Well, I like the just refocused Auburn defense for this year in their growth, and really focused more on the fundamentals. And Coach Dean told us, you know, like, hitting is going to be up and down, but for pitching and defense, that needs to be what stays consistent. We can't lose as many games this season to defensive errors the way that they did last year. And Nelia Peralta, their shortstop, has had a drastic improvement.
That is past the third baseman Bryant, and Ainsley Furbush going to try to leg out a double, and she will. So a 2-out double in each inning for Ole Miss.
Yeah, Denver Bryant, the third baseman, was playing a little bit off the line, so you can see that she gave some space over there down the third base line, and Furbush just sneaks it past her. She's playing one step over, one half step closer to third base. I think she's able to make that catch, but Furbush goes down, gets an off-speed pitch, and barrels it up. And again, that off-speed pitch gets hit hard in this game.
So Naomi Jones is going to bat after all that's sorted out. New right fielder today. We saw Brooke Bernard, who had a base hit on Wednesday. Jones only her second at bat since April 21st. This right field position has been a real revolving door for Ole Miss this year. Well, 8 for 27, 2 walks this year for Naomi Jones, who is a slapper. Penta's 1-1. Well out in front.
Just throwing that changeup so much in this game.
Hey, 1-2, ladies, 1-2.
I'm interested to see how much she throws the rise ball versus the change the second time through the
Me too,
year.
yep. And when these teams faced earlier this season, Maddie Penta threw twice, got 2 wins against Ole Miss, only gave up 4 hits in 14 innings. Struck out 17.
Here's South Carolina, who'll be part of our next game against Georgia. Off speed again, Lisenby throws behind at second, and Furba sneaks in there. So Maddie Penta still without a strikeout. And she walks the 9-hitter, Naomi Jones, on a 3-2 off-speed pitch in the dirt.
Maddie Penta has just been so good this year, Kevin. It seems like even when she's gotten herself into trouble with runners on base, that she's been able to wiggle out of some jams. Well, there you go. First pitch, second time through, up in the zone with the rise ball. You knew it was coming, so you could be an analyst over here, Kevin.
I've learned from the best. Yeah. Unfortunately, you have not learned from the best, so you can't do play-by-plays.
It's too hard. I'll pass.
You could do it. It's not that hard. To quote Billy Beane in Moneyball, it's not that hard. Tell him, Wash. So, back-to-back innings, Penta 2 out, nobody on, gives up a double, then allows a free pass, and she'll try to get out of it against Lassiter. It was 0 for 5 yesterday, but scored twice. That pitch in the dirt, throw to third, not in time. Melvin, the pinch runner, awfully aggressive, and Jones takes second behind her.
2 on, ladies, 2 on, 2 on.
Lisenby recovered well. That ball was just right in front of her, but as soon as she picked it up, she shuffled and took an extra step toward third base. And that was the difference between safe and out. You have to pick that up, get rid of it immediately. I think that would have had her out.
It's a pass ball, runners at second and third, and now a 3-1 count on Lassiter.
And look at how most of these pitches against Lassiter have been up in the zone, and Jayla Lassiter doesn't even look close to sniffing that pitch, and that's why Mickey Dean is going to come out and speak to Maddie Penta and his catcher, talk about that rise ball and the pitch location here with 2 runners in scoring position and behind in the count. Maddie Penta in this game, Ole Miss has had a good approach off of her so far.
That is outside. So a walk to Lassiter, the second of the inning. And a 2-out, nobody on situation has turned into a full-scale jam for the possible SEC Pitcher of the Year. There's Annabelle Widra. Not throwing very hard, but just getting loose in the Auburn bullpen. And what is Jamie Traxel going to do now?
I think that as we make some kind of substitution here, I feel like Maddie Penta just looks a little bit off than how we saw her in the regular season. When you're a pitcher like her and you're not getting swings and misses and strikeouts, especially the first time through, definitely is a little bit alarming, or you definitely notice it when you're in the dugout or calling the game.
Ole Miss is going to use a pinch hitter here, and how about this? Instead of Tate Whitley, who leads Ole Miss in batting average and is tied for the lead in hits, Ole Miss going to bring up Maya Stevenson, their leading home run hitter, their leader in walks, and they're going to use her here in the second inning.
Remember, the last at bat that she had was off of Montana Fouts on Sunday, Game 3 against Alabama, a walk-off win for Ole Miss.
This is a fascinating move in several ways. Stevenson takes ball 1. On the one hand, you have Whitley, who had 2 of the 4 hits against Penta when the teams met, and hit a pretty hard line drive to first her last time. On the other hand, you have Stevenson for a big moment, and this is the moment. In the second inning, Jamie Traxel sensing a moment. And Stevenson in a 2-0 count as Lisenby will make a visit to the circle. Ole Miss won the game yesterday, but really struggled in these spots. 3 for 16 with runners on. Only 1 hit yesterday with a runner in scoring position, and that was a bunt single from Whitley.
All right, ball 2, ladies, ball 2.
Guys, I noticed, remember this game was rain delayed. Maddie was warming up in the bullpen. Then she had to go inside to the cages and was throwing, then came back out, then went back in. I felt like she looked a little frustrated going in and out, trying to figure out when this game was going to start. Don't know if that's playing into the start that she's had here.
Could very well be. Stevenson off speed, 2-2. I mean, it was a much longer rain delay yesterday, but we saw Tawny Gobourne and Emily Kennedy certainly not look the same last night.
Yeah, because it was right up until first pitch time when the game got called off. So she was probably, or not called off, but pushed back. I mean, that was a big pitch there, though, to get the second strike of Stevenson with that changeup.
2-2, bases loaded. And she missed it up.
What a take by Maya Stevenson. A confident take. These takes that you've seen in this inning have been so good for Ole Miss. Bases loaded, nowhere to put her, full count. One of the best home run hitters in the country at the plate. This is juicy.
Could the moment of the game be in the second inning? Stevenson fouls it into the Auburn bullpen. It's another 3-2 off-speed pitch. Her first year at Ole Miss after a great career at Marshall. No active Division I player has more home runs than Maya Stevenson's 71.
All right, here we go, ladies.
And look how deep the Auburn outfield is. It feels like the 6th inning right here. 3-2 again, and Stevenson down swinging. In a run.
Ooh, that you really gave a lot of stipulations there, friend.
I did. KK McCurry slow ground ball. She's thrown out by Allie at short. That was an 18-minute top of the second inning. It featured 29 pitches, 6 batters, a double, 2 walks, a pinch runner, a pinch hitter, 2 visits to the pitching circle, and no runs.
All that done too with 2 outs, by the way.
Again, who knows how this game's going to end, but Jamie Traxel, by pinch hitting Stevenson, there's an implicit understanding there that this may be our best shot in the game against Maddie Penta, even this early. Because when Penta gets into a groove, there aren't many in the nation that get into that kind of a groove. First strikeout of the game, got out of it. And after the McCrary ground out, Michaela Packer against Caitlin Riley. Packer pops it up to Paige Smith.
Yeah, when you look into the numbers too, I mean, right-handed hitters have a lower average against off of Maddie Penta than left-handed hitters too. So Tate Whitley has had such a good tournament. You hate to second-guess a coach. She or he knows their team better than anybody, but Tate Whitley has been so good.
Again, had 2 of the hits against Maddie Penta in the regular season series, 2 of the 4. She did not get an opportunity there. She is back in the game in left field. Rose Roach sends one foul in her direction. Whitley already has an outfield assist in the game as well, after really playing a whale of an outfield game yesterday. No swing there, according to James Colsey.
Gotcha.
This was the spot of Carly McConaughey for almost the entirety of the season. 49 starts for her. This is only Rose Roach's 10th. But McConaughey has fallen into a pretty deep slump. And Roach gave him some good plate appearances last weekend. Had a hit, a walk, a sac fly, drove in 2, starting at second base over the weekend for Auburn. Tigers come in having taken 2 of 3 from Mississippi State. En route to a 15-9 SEC record and their highest finish in the conference since 2017. Started the season off in conference play, losing 2 of 3 to Georgia, and they beat Missouri in a series, beat Ole Miss, lost to Florida, and then 1 series against LSU, Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi State. Roach bouncer to second. Nice scoop by Kamoku, and a much quicker bottom of the inning. A 2-0 Auburn lead with the heart of the Ole Miss order. This year, so 2 different winners 2 years in a row. Alabama's the 5, Florida's the 8. And in part that's because those programs have been a little down. In part that's because programs like Tennessee, Georgia, and now Auburn are a little bit up the last couple of years.
And the emergence of Arkansas with Courtney Deifel and her staff. Just a consistent contender now for an SEC championship every year. Even despite the amount of talent and offensive production that they graduated last season.
Including Daniel Gibson, who we'll see is a volunteer assistant in our next game for Georgia. Paige Smith here. Maddie Penta has induced 21 swings so far, 5 swings and misses. That, for some pitchers, is a good number. Got about a quarter of the swings. Not for Maddie Penta. What are you seeing with her stuff right now?
I feel like it's a little bit out of the zone. She's not commanding either side of the plate like that. Just a little wild. Her changeup is staying a little bit flat. Her harder pitches are more up out of the zone with her rise ball or in like that. Another hit by pitch. Couple of walks, couple of hit by pitches, and just 1 strikeout. This is just a rare outing for her when you look at the numbers. Thought possibly that strikeout with the bases loaded against Maya Stevenson would propel her into this inning, but starting it off with a hit by pitch there.
38th game this year for Penta, 32nd start. This is the first time she's hit multiple batters in the same game. And a leadoff batter on for Savannah Sykes. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Sykes hit by a pitch her first time.
Well, and I do think, Kevin, that a couple of things could factor into this. You talked about the slight delay at the beginning of the game and her getting hot, getting warm, thinking that she was about to go on in just a few minutes, only to get pushed back by 15, 30 minutes, whatever it ended up being. And then I think, too, the fact that she started out the game just going more to her changeup and more down in the zone instead of going to more of her strength up in the zone the first time through. That can be tough for a pitcher to work through. Go to your secondary pitches to start off the game and maybe not just feel 100% confident.
Savannah Sykes, Ole Miss's best hitter on changeups. Take a hard one down and in here. Lisenby. Lisenby is not had a fluid throw back to Penta in this inning. We've seen her hesitate. We've seen her underhand the ball. Paige Smith has not attempted a steal at first, but I wonder if Ole Miss is noticing that. On the ground, second base, Rosenroach gets the out as Smith moves to second. One away in the third.
Well, and what comes to mind is how aggressive that Ole Miss can be on the base pass. We saw that yesterday against Ole Miss, and they like to take an extra 60 feet. And almost yesterday, maybe even a little bit too aggressive, but it worked out because LSU had a hard time playing catch yesterday.
LSU committed 4 errors between the third and fifth innings. Ole Miss scored 3 of its 5 runs in those innings. Michaela Alley had a double in 5 at-bats yesterday. Alley started all 56 games for Ole Miss this year, the most starts in the history of the program. 252nd today. Again, it's a little unusual. You watch about 3 hesitations there on the throw back to the pitcher from Lisenby. Who they really like as a defensive catcher.
Well, and it's almost like that's just her routine now, that's what she does to get the ball back to the pitcher with a good throw.
Penta behind Alley, 3-0.
Ball 4.
That's another walk. 3 walks in the game. Dished out by Maddie Penta. 2 free passes in the inning, and she continues to fight a lack of command. This is a pitcher who walked 41 batters in 196 innings. It's a walk rate of 1.5 per 7. She's put on 3. She's hit 2. 2 on for Brady. And Lexi Brady takes the ball.
I think you have to be so careful here with Lexi Brady. And we keep saying that because every inning, Maddie Penta has been in trouble with runners on base. She's not had a clean inning up to this point. There have been runners in scoring position every inning that she has pitched in this game.
That's a swing called at the plate. 7 of the 14 Ole Miss hitters have reached base. Brady fouled out to the catcher her first time. And Lisenby frames that one nicely for strike 2. Lexi Brady not in the starting lineup early in the season. Did not start any of the first 16 games. Has come on strong. Into right center field here. She slowed the bat head down. She found a gap. 1 run is home. Alley's going to make it 2, and Ole Miss has tied it. Lexi Brady continues her SEC assault. And the Rebels finally break through with runners on.
She was a spark yesterday for this team, and that's why when you saw her come to the plate with 2 runners on, I was thinking this could be it. Let that pitch get deep. It was a bit of an off-speed pitch, but she let it travel and just sent it to that right center field gap to tie up this game. Lexi Brady has been so good in all parts of the game for Ole Miss. Love the energy from the dugout and how hard they cheer for her. You can tell they notice what she did yesterday. They notice what she's doing today. She's the one that's come up with the big swings and big moments.
That's the second 2-strike hit of the game against a pitcher who is generally untouchable in 2-strike spots.
Well, and Ole Miss as a team came into this tournament just hitting 183 with 2 strikes. And when you're facing somebody like Maddie Penta, who opponents are hitting .091 against her with 2 strikes. That is a huge deal for Ole Miss and their approaches at the plate today.
Kayla Kamoku through the left side. Brady stops at third on the throw home from Garcia. And Kamoku, who is in a 1-for-16, smashes one into the 5.5 hole. Runners at the corners for the Rebels.
It's another hit on the off speed. In fact, all of the hits in this game have been on pitches that have not been 68 miles an hour. Kamoku barrels up a pitch that is down in the zone, gets her barreled to that pitch. Man, Ole Miss is just keen in, knowing that in this game, Maddie Penta has not been able to establish the upper part of the zone with her 68, 69 mile an hour rise ball or her fastball in the outside corner.
It's already 2 hits with runners in scoring position for Ole Miss today. Here's Furbush, who had a double in the second. And that is high. There is no one warming in the Auburn bullpen.
And that's what I'm talking about, that fastball in the outside corner that she's trying to throw, not being able to throw it for a strike. When she goes up in the zone with her wise ball, it's well out of the strike zone, and the only pitch that she can throw for a strike right now is her off speed, and Ole Miss knows it.
Good rip there.
And a faster pitch on the inside corner. That was a good pitch right there for Penta. Like Lisenby picking out which softball she wants to throw back to Penta. She knows that a pitcher is a little bit particular about what type of, if it's too new, if it's too slick, you know, pitcher just wants it to be just right.
What do you care about? What kind of softball did you want?
Not a fresh pearl that was new and slick. No, sir.
Used?
A little bit more used.
Inside off the glove of Lisenby, and Kamoku's going to go to second. Lisenby throws through late. Already a pass ball in the game against Lisenby. This one off her glove, and Ole Miss now has 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. That is a second pass ball against Aubrey Lisenby. And a 3-1 count for Furbush.
You know, I think it's always more interesting and fun to watch a pitcher who is normally so dominant struggle a little bit, not have her best stuff, and try to figure out a different way to win today. That's what you're seeing today out of Maddie Penta, just fight through knowing that she doesn't have her best stuff today.
3-2. Furbush, center field, base hit. 2 more runs will score. It is a 4-run flurry against Maddie Penta in the Ole Miss third. And the 11-seeded Rebels have taken the lead.
Ole Miss now just taking advantage of their opportunities with runners on. They did it in the first, did it in the second, but they got runners on. They just didn't get them over until this inning. A great at bat by Furbush. Second hit of the game off of Penta. Once was on an off-speed pitch. This one on a more firm pitch, 68 miles an hour. That pitch was up over the heart of the plate, and Furbush, a good hitter, a good athlete, puts Ole Miss on top.
Upset LSU yesterday, leading Auburn today. They've knocked Maddie Penta out of the game after 2 1/3 innings. The potential SEC pitcher of the year, Annabelle Wedra, the sophomore transfer from Michigan, will try to rescue this inning and maybe the rest of this game for Auburn. Face Naomi Jones, the 9-hitter, and throw ball 1. There's a new catcher as well. Aspen Godwin has replaced Lisenby. New pitcher, new catcher for Auburn.
Ole Miss has to be excited that they didn't wait until the 10th inning or the 7th inning to get the big hit. Scoring early in the game.
Jones has to retrieve the pieces of the wristband cards, but Ole Miss didn't have any earned runs until the 10th yesterday. All 3 of the runs were unearned. But this is a stunning development. Widra comes into the game fired up and strikes out Jones. Well, let's take a look at Embrace the If, brought to you by Regions. If Ole Miss scores 2 or more runs in the SEC tournament, they don't lose. They're 8-0 in the history of the tournament when scoring multiple runs, and they are 0-9 when they score 1 run or, of course, get shut out. So either history is going to be made or just pack this sucker up. Let's go to Georgia, South Carolina. It's a 4-run 3rd inning, and Jayla Lassiter trying to extend it. The 8th batter of the inning for Ole Miss. Lassiter foul on a bunt try.
It's a big statement for Annabelle Widra to come into this game and get just the 2nd strikeout of the game for the Auburn pitching staff. And you need that momentum shift with the way that Ole Miss has looked at the plate and just the struggle that Maddie Pinta went through in today's game. It's good to see that Annabelle Widra comes out right away, establishes the strike zone, and gets that strikeout.
What's Annabelle Widra bring to the circle now for Auburn?
Some really good spin, like in that curveball, and like her overall presence in the circle too. And you know, at Michigan, she didn't pitch much, just 32 and a 3rd innings that she pitched at Michigan before coming over here and getting some more time.
Fouled away by Lassiter. Auburn has Widra and Shelby Lowe, 2 pitchers that primarily throw in relief of Penta. Widra, one of the most highly touted recruits out of college, went to Michigan. Carol Hutchins retired, came here to Auburn. Inside to Lassiter, Godwin lasers a throw, and Ellis was behind the base.
Yeah, there were quite a few Michigan transfers within the SEC after that happened. You don't see too many people leave that program, or in years past who didn't, because Carol Hutchins, a winningest coach in Division I NCAA softball.
Pretty amazing that Jayla Lassiter hasn't had a hit in this tournament. Feels like she's impacted the game so much. She's 0 for 6 with a walk, but she scored 2 runs. Looking for her first here. That's outside.
You're so right. I'm really good at bats, but she has really made an impact, though, on this offense. We talked about it yesterday in LSU's game. Really good at bats, big swings, lots of confidence.
That's into left field. That's a big swing. That is a big fly. Why not make your first hit a homer? Six-run 3rd for the Rebels. Party on, Mississippi. It is 6-2.
Jayla Lassiter is probably like, finally. She has been so aggressive in the box, fouled off pitches, been on time, just hasn't had the stats in the box score to show for it. Keeps her hands inside of that inside pitch. Annabelle Widra tries to go up and in on her hands, and that gets actually through the gate into our production compound. But Jayla Lassiter we're going to be talking about her for years to come. An explosive freshman for this Ole Miss team.
And now a bunt laid down by Whitley, and Auburn wasn't ready for it. Ole Miss has this third-seeded Tiger team about as discombobulated as you can be. What a smart play by Whitley. And it's a blast and a bunt to keep the inning going for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss is just looking so motivated.
Here's Paige Smith. Started the inning by being hit by a pitch. Jayla Lassiter, her first home run since April 22nd. Just her third of the year. Hard to believe that.
Yeah, we talked about it before, but this Ole Miss team did not start out the season very strong. And they definitely had their struggles, had a hard time putting some things together, and had high expectations coming into this season. Really strong fall, good January, Jamie Traxel said. But she's always said, even when I had their series against Kentucky and things weren't looking great, I actually think that I had their Kentucky series right after they faced Auburn on the road at Auburn. And she's like, we just haven't lost confidence. We're frustrated, but we haven't lost confidence.
Into right from Smith. Tresvik is there, and the inning is over. A little sixth.
Scoring all those runs.
6 of them, 5 against Penta. That ties the season high runs allowed by Penta. She gave up 5 to Georgia in 9 2/3 innings. She gave up 5 to Oklahoma, the best team in the country, and she just gave up 5 in the 3rd inning.
I mean, you think about Georgia and Oklahoma's offense. I don't know if we necessarily have talked about Ole Miss's offense in the same breath as Georgia.
I know, we have not necessarily talked about Ole Miss's offense.
But today, you're forced to with the amount of runs that they've scored.
They've been on a heck of a tear, Ole Miss. That's outside to Nelia Peralta. Last 3 games, Ole Miss 16 runs now, 26 hits, 8 extra base hits. And that big rally against Alabama on Sunday. The win over LSU yesterday. And there is Maddie Penta speaking with her head coach, Mickey Dean. And now Auburn's offense has got to get back into the game against Caitlin Riley.
Well, I feel like this is a big tournament for Ole Miss. And when we talked to Mickey Dean, about moving forward and the NCAA tournament bracket coming out and seedings, I mean, he felt like Auburn is a team that should grab a top 16 seed. And you think, yeah, okay, yeah, I can get on board with that if, you know, you make a run at the SEC tournament. But they lose this game, start to think more and more likely that they'll be on the road. But we'll see. Several teams, I feel like, in contention for the last 16 seeds, 15, 16, we'll see.
He's still talking to Maddie Penta, who obviously could re-enter this game, but at the moment is out after 2 1/3. 1-2 for Peralta. That ball's fouled away. Auburn right now, RPI of 21. 39-16, 15-9 in the SEC. Here's your RPI top 25. LSU lost yesterday. They're still 6 in the RPI. They and Tennessee certainly will host. The rest of these teams kind of bubblicious. Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia. All 3 of those teams would be right on the seeding bubble right now. Again, RPI doesn't equal seeds 1-to-1, but it is used as closely as any method.
Yeah, we always tend to look at it and try to do our best guesses along with strength of schedule and number of top 25 wins. A few things factoring in.
A pitch of the at-bat. Peralta finally puts one in play, but flies out to Jones. And Caitlin Riley has set down 5 in a row.
Although even, without the tournament, Mickey Dean felt pretty strongly of thinking that his team was going to grab a top 16 seed no matter win or lose in this game. So he's feeling good about it, and we'll see what happens on Sunday.
We will have that selection show on Sunday. You'll be there breaking down a field of 64, which will include 12 or 13 SEC teams. Denver Bryant, high in the air left field, has the distance, but did not have the appropriate location. In fact, it looked like it nearly hit a golf cart.
And this Auburn team, too, when we talked to Coach Dean, he talked about how strong they've been on the road, not playing at home. And that was one of their focuses, was to play in some early tournaments on the road, because he really feels like, and still feels like, one of the most difficult things to do is win a game, much less a series on the road. Trying to prepare for the postseason. Throughout February and March, they even went to Hall of Fame Stadium and played in a tournament against Oklahoma, Northwestern, and some other teams at the same stadium where the Women's College World Series is held at.
He said that was not a coincidence. We wanted to know what it was like to play there. We want to get back there. A chopper from Bryant sneaks through. Denver Bryant with a one-out base hit. Maybe that'll be the spark Auburn needs.
That could be a big smile on a Denver Bryant. Like how we talked about too, Kevin, in regards to the tournaments and the road games, that we learned how to hone in on each other and focus on each other to just cut out the distractions, including playing Alabama in Tuscaloosa in front of 4,000 or 5,000 fans on the road. They won that series against Alabama. Big win for them.
Guys, I was there for that Auburn-Alabama series, and they honored Montana Fouts that weekend, so you can imagine the Rhodes House was absolutely packed. They could not hear each other on the field, and Mickey Dean told us, like you're talking about, Amanda, we have to look to our own dugout to create that energy and create that momentum.
And I thought it was interesting, Courtney, as you're well aware, because you were there, that Friday night game got rained out, so they didn't play, but all the fans were there. And everybody showed up. It was just a packed stadium, and he felt like his team actually benefited from being in that atmosphere and not actually getting the game in, because his team just got to look around and kind of get used to it and then be prepared for what they're going to face on Saturday when they did indeed play in front of them.
Briella's to short. Backing up alley. It sneaks under her glove. And here comes Auburn. 2 runners on and only 1 out the third.
Briella is so strong.
With a couple aboard. .62 Ole Miss. 1 out, 2 on in the third. I wonder how much long Ole Miss is going to stick with Caitlin Riley. How much longer? 4 1/3 in her start yesterday.
Ball inside.
Ainsley Furbush was brilliant in relief. 5 1/3 hitless innings. But in the Ole Miss bullpen, it's McKenna Cleathermos who starts to get loose. And there's Brooke Vestal, who just walked into the picture next to her. Not throwing at the moment. Riley's going to call her own pitch here on 2-0. And Tresvic's going to take that pitch just inside.
It's a good take, and I think she missed a little bit off the plate, but if you're Auburn here, I think you have to score. Ole Miss put up a 6 spot on you in the top of the 3rd inning. You have to punch back right here.
Green light, 3-0.
Now I'd take again.
Ball 4.
She did, and she walks. And Auburn has had 3 consecutive runners reach base, and all of a sudden the tying runs coming to the plate.
I think we're going to have likely pitching change here.
Well, Riker Chasen and Jamie Traxel are both out.
Maybe not. Maybe a little pep talk to Caitlin Riley.
That's the line right now for Riley, who pitched well against Auburn in the regular season. He's now given up 5 runs in 6 2/3 here in the tournament. There's Denver Bryant just getting a break. If we could isolate a camera on Denver Bryant, we'd have some fun. Skylar Elkins, the pitch runner, now at second for Ellis. Denver Bryant brings such energy and swagger to Auburn. It's no surprise that if they're going to get a rally started, she's the one to do it. The error against Alley put Ellis on. Elkins running for her, Tresvik a walk, and now it's Lindsey Garcia, who had that 2-run single on the first pitch she saw of her first inning at bat. Tied for the team lead with 40 RBIs, and she is the tying run here. And Garcia beats the first one into the ground.
Ole Miss is going to try to roll a ground ball here, and this type of situation definitely works into the hand of a pitcher like Caitlin Riley, who throws more down the zone with her drop ball. 60% of the batted balls put into play against her are on the ground, 40% in the air. Right now is the time to roll a ground ball, get a force and or a double play.
0-2 for Garcia. She does have a couple of grand slams with the bases loaded this year. Lindsey Garcia, typically a big free swinger, a little bit more patient this year, but her game is her power. 0-2, and Garcia able to keep the at-bat going, fights off a drop ball. Has taken big steps forward the last couple of years, Garcia. Really tough out. She doesn't walk much, but she has excellent bat control and does not strike out much either. Where do you want to get her out here if you're Riley?
I want to roll a ground ball up the middle to my middle infielders and try to turn a double play. It's going to lean on that inside drop ball. Go away.
And to right from Garcia, that's caught by an onrushing Jones, and the runners will hold. Well, now what's going on? The ball gets thrown away, and Bryant is going to score. Auburn nearly ran itself into a mess because Elkins was about 2/3 of the way to third base. Bryant was still on third, and then the throw trickled away, allowing Bryant to score, and Auburn gets a gift run.
Jones throws this ball home and actually isn't quite sure where to go with it, so just kind of throws it into no man's land, and then it gets past Caitlin Riley. Didn't hit her relay, didn't hit her cut.
Aspen Godwin will bat for the first time now. That has been charged as a missed catch error on the pitcher Riley. Even though it was not a good throw by Jones. And so not a sacrifice fly, just a fly out, and the E1 on the missed catch, allowing the run to score. Second error of the inning against Ole Miss.
Yeah, you could tell that Riley just got ahead of herself. That ball was pretty much lobbed in. Wasn't a hard throw whatsoever. Took a couple of bounces. Surprising when it got past her.
So Godwin, 325 on base, big power hitter. Able to make good contact to keep that at-bat alive. Jamie Traxel is going to join Courtney after the end of this half inning. No shortage of topics for Court, I think. It's been a 6-run inning for Ole Miss. Auburn's grabbed one back. Now Godwin in her first at bat. Grounds one toward the middle. Kamoku throws it away. Oh, good grief. 3 errors in the inning for Ole Miss, and Auburn scores 2 on the play to pull within 6-5.
Wow. No words here, just wow. And you could tell that Jamie Traxel, who takes so much pride in her team's defense, is absolutely stunned. This should be easily the 3rd out of the inning, and with 2 outs, Auburn's runners are just going to keep running. 3 runs scored in this inning to answer back. We talked about them answering back, but I just didn't think that I had this pictured in my head with it being the way.
Well, Ole Miss saw what LSU did defensively yesterday, and I didn't think they would decide, let's do that today.
Man.
4 errors committed by their opponent yesterday. 3 errors committed by Ole Miss in this inning. And that is already 1 away from their most errors in a game this season. What a weird 3rd inning this has been. What's going on here?
Just your typical 9 runs scored, 3rd inning.
Now KK McCrary with Godwin at first. Riley's going to call her own pitch again on 2-0. And it's a strike.
But I will point out, this is why it's just so important to put the ball in play. Auburn, even on that ground ball to second base that caused the error, that was an 0-2 pitch. I mean, they're not striking out a lot, only 1 strikeout in this game.
McCrary a ground out her first time. McCrary, right field. Jones ends the inning. A 3rd inning that none of us will ever forget, unless we forget it.
Just talk like that, and they tell us the truth about what they tell their teams. It makes me so happy.
Here's a fly ball from Sykes, and Michaela Packer. That's playing aggressive defense.
Michaela Packer ran a long way to track this one down. She starts dead up the middle of the field and then ends up by that SEC logo out there in right center. Made that look easy. She just glided when she ran. She was so smooth to run over and get a big first out.
Auburn outfielders are right now coming to, looks like talk to Eugene Lenti along the left field line.
Between both of these teams, the amount of conferences that we have that are so unique. How often do you see a coach call timeout, bring his outfielders in to the outfield and talk to them? You just don't really ever see that.
Stealing a page out of the Ole Miss playbook.
Yeah. Maybe they all got sunglasses. Are those new sunnies out there?
Packer had them on. I know that.
Okay.
Ball inside.
You used to abbreviate sunglasses as sunnies.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just called the abbreviation police, and they said that does not compute.
That's not just an Amanda thing.
No.
I've heard that by other
Sorry,
people.
you're in abbreviation jail. And everybody else who says it is too.
Let me know when I'm out.
Okay. Hang on. I just heard from them. You're out. Welcome back.
Yay.
3-0 to Michaela Alley.
You know, I think that we're all just happy that sunglasses are even in the mix, that we actually have a sun out and that sunglasses are needed. I think I can speak for everybody.
Only got 3 games in yesterday. Hoping to get all 4 in today. 3-1 to Allie. Gonna pick the bat back up.
But you were asking about, what Jamie Traxel said before that fly ball to Packer, and I love the fact that she was still so fired up from talking to her team, told us, I would imagine, pretty much exactly what she told her team about being aggressive on defense and having that aggressiveness within their at-bats, too. And she's right. I mean, they have not been able to play from ahead very much.
Well, she told us the first 38 games of the year, we defended well and we pitched well. And she felt like they made a lot of defensive mistakes over the last month or so. Allie, a chopper to shortstop. Peralta, much improved infielder this season, throws her out. 2 up, 2 down for Annabelle Widra in the 4th. Well, Ole Miss in the regular season had 6 runs total in the 3 games against Auburn. Won 1 game in that series. They got 6 runs in the 3rd inning today. Lost 8-2, won 4-1, lost 1-0. Well,
yeah, and Kevin, for a coach like Jamie Traxel, who is so passionate about defense, you know that an inning like last inning just kills her. She is so big on defending within 60 feet, and it truly believes like defensive pieces and making plays can still be like your different type of offense before they were really hitting the ball.
There's her counterpart, Mickey Dean, who is going to join us at the end of this half inning. Lexi Brady, left side. Lexi Brady, base hit. Oh, Garcia overran it. And so Brady's going to take an extra base.
Lexi Brady has just been so locked in at the plate, so focused, finds a hole out there in center field, and then Garcia just pulls up too quickly with her glove. It gets underneath. I mean, do you think it's us, Kevin, why teams in our games just don't play great defense in this tournament? Is it us?
The pressure of performing under Amanda Scarborough.
Man.
You know who's watching. It's a base hit and an E7. Garcia's 2nd error of the year. And a strike to Kayla Kamoku. Auburn's 1st error of the game.
Ball.
There have now been 4 errors committed in the last 8 batters. Kamoku had the big one, a throwing error with 2 outs to bring in 2 runs in the 3rd. She can help totally redeem herself here for the runner at 2nd. That's a strikeout of play.
Kamoku is an interesting story, as you mentioned before, coming from Hawaii, actually committed to Jamie Traxel and her staff at Minnesota before Jamie got the job at Ole Miss. Ended up making the call over to Kamoku to let her know, hey, I'm the head coach of Ole Miss now. And she was like, do you know where Ole Miss is? And Kayla was like, no. And Jamie Traxel said, well, do you know what the SEC is? And Kayla was like, well, kinda. But she believed in Jamie Traxel so much. I think Jamie could have told her she was going to Maine or Florida or what. You just pick anywhere. And I feel like Kayla Kamoku would have come over from Hawaii to follow her.
There is Kayla with her family in Hawaii. And there is Kayla not in Minnesota with snow, but in Oxford, Mississippi, where it does snow.
Which leads me to another story that when Kayla Kamoku went on her visit to Minnesota, Jamie Traxel was so worried because they had just gotten a ton of snow right before she came. And she was like, God, her coming from Hawaii, is she gonna like the snow? But Kayla Kamoku absolutely loved it. Jumped in the snow, was doing snow angels. So, how often do you see that type of snow in Mississippi though, right?
Oh. It is amazing anybody would decide to leave Hawaii for Minnesota. As much as I love Minnesota, the state, which is honestly one of my favorite places. But when you're in Hawaii, you go to Minnesota, it's a whole lot colder. And she had offers from big programs, but felt a personal connection with Jamie Traxel. Committed there over Washington, over Texas, among others.
Yeah, she told her, "You're my coach, so I'll go where you go." And on that visit to Minnesota, Jamie said that they went sledding and snow tubing, that they had a blast. It was like 10 degrees during her visit, and she just had so much fun.
Playing here in Fayetteville, Arkansas now as Kamoku rips one foul. She has been on a few of these pitches against Annabelle Widra. The power has surged over the last month for Kayla Kamoku. Can she straighten it out on 1-2?
That ball off of Kamoku's bat, it spread out Georgia, who was waiting to play this game. They scattered once that hit went out there, and JT D'Amico out there just sitting, waiting they can get going. South Carolina
If
next.
Ole Miss and Georgia play tomorrow, if they both win, Kayla better be ready for some stuff up and in. They're going to take it personally. Slow pitch there, rolled it to short. Peralta not caught, and a run will score. Ellis couldn't dig it. Brady never stopped running. 2 errors in the inning by Auburn. 5 errors in the last 2 half innings. Ole Miss steals a run back.
Can't figure out why Nelia Peralta just took so much time to get rid of this ball, and then she had to almost force and rush her throw. Ended up taking a 1-hop to Bri Ellis. That's such a tough play as a first baseman. Lexi Brady, I mean, the way she's run the bases, her at bats, the way she's caught, I mean, she has been all over the field for Ole Miss, scoring their 7th run.
That scored a hit. So please retract the end of my call.
I'm not erasing that. That's an error.
Yeah, that's called a hit for now. Let's see. Write it in pencil in your scorebook. Batter is Furbush.
A lot of contact in this inning. And look at Ole Miss, too, with 2 outs. Again, putting the ball in play, not striking out.
Ole Miss has struck out twice in the game. Auburn has struck out once. Teams have said to the opposing defense, we're going to make you beat us. Now it's an E6, so the ruling has been changed.
E6 is the right answer.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Ole Miss is getting a lot of contact here against Widra. Yeah, Penta, who struck out 279 in 196 innings. Crazy numbers. 2nd most strikeouts in the country. Widra, 73 2/3, 73 strikeouts, a strikeout an inning. In Ole Miss, looks like they're taking batting practice.
I just think that they've looked really determined. And I mean, you go back to that last game against Alabama, and even game 2 against Alabama, I believe it was, they had a chance to beat them. Could have potentially, you know, just hypothetical, could have won that series, but Alabama had a comeback in the 7th inning with the Jenna Johnson home run and ended up winning a close game.
There's a swing and a miss finally. Furbush strikes out. Ole Miss gets another. 8 players around you on the field.
Yeah, you want her out there with the defense that she's played this week.
Yep.
I think you definitely want her out there in her real position.
No, I said I'm on it.
So it's Packer, Roach, Peralta, 8-9-1 for Auburn, which just scored 3 unearned runs in the 6th against Caitlin Riley. And Vestal goes slow to get a strike on Packer.
Brooke Vestal is a very unique pitcher. She is going to give these Auburn fits with her off-speed curveball that she will throw like she just threw to Michaela Packer that she swung through. She's a master of spin. There are almost all right-handed hitters for Auburn, just the complete opposite of Ole Miss's lineup, who Ole Miss faced, or excuse me, LSU's lineup, who Ole Miss faced yesterday, who had all left-handed hitters. But Brooke Vestal is so good against right-handed hitters.
I got you. Next.
There's the line for Riley. 3 innings, 5 runs. Only 2 were earned. But again, only 1 strikeout for Caitlin Riley, who pitched to a lot of contact. She was one of 3 players to commit an error in that 3-run third. Packer, left field. Hey, look at that. That's why you need Tate Whitley out there in left field.
Yeah, she can go back, she can go to the side, she can go toward the foul line. I mean, she really can do it all, make great throws home.
Again, you know, if there was no left fielder, maybe that's a triple. Who knows?
Could be. That's why it's nice to have 3 outfielders out there, you know? It's
typically a good idea.
Serve a purpose for sure.
You figured, given some of the strange defensive things in this game, maybe they would just try with 2, but 3 works out just fine. Rose Roach, left side again. Here comes Whitley, and she couldn't hang on to it. And Roach never stopped running. Rose rumbles into second with a double.
Tate Whitley has had so much action out in left field, and she has covered a lot of ground. Had a long way to go because she was shaded more toward left center field, and this landed just behind the shortstop Michaela Alley, and Tate Whitley calls off Alley. She splits to the side. Tate Whitley, it's in her glove. She's just not able to hold on to it. Not a smooth dive or slide for that ball, and comes out.
Roach with her 3rd double of the year. And it brings up Peralta. First extra base hit for Rose Roach since March the 5th. And here's Peralta as the tying run with 1 out in the 4th. Walk and a fly out today.
She's so tough to hit against, and she's so much fun to watch pitch because she's so different than any other pitcher that you're going to see. Lots of spin. She doesn't bring the speed. She can bring it up there with some speed, but
it's a flat ground ball. Roach running in front of the play, and she runs right into an out. Alley cuts her down at 3rd for the 2nd out.
not a great decision by Rose Roach, especially because that play was happening right in front of her. Michaela Alley, a veteran shortstop, just gonna go ahead and take that error, or excuse me, take that base running error and get the lead runner out.
.65 on the fielder's choice. Strike one to Bryant. As Mickey Dean said, somebody's going to win this game. And whoever wins this game is going to have a heck of a video review session tonight. Whoever loses is going to have a heck of a video review session before next weekend's regional.
Isn't it crazy how much these balls spin out of Brooke Vestal's hand? I mean, Caitlin Riley throws in the upper 60s, and then you bring in Brooke Vestal, who just is so good against right-handed hitters because of that curveball.
Denver Bryant strikeout and a single.
Brooke Vestal is from Texas, started out at Oklahoma, and then came to Ole Miss. She lives in the New Braunfels area and gets to work with Kat Osterman whenever she's at home. Kat also lives in that area.
Kat would be pretty happy with that pitch. Fourth inning spinorama. Vestal twirls third. And the new second baseman, Carly McConaughey, as well. And Naomi Jones tests that new third baseman, or at least tried to. So McConaughey takes over after Rose Roach grounded out and doubled in that fourth inning. We'll see if Roach re-enters to hit later in the game. Roberts is in for Bryant, who struck out to end the fourth, so they grab a little bit of a better defender, at least until Bryant comes up again. Jones, the 9-hitter. Oh, she lost the cards again. Can somebody get Naomi Jones a new wristband, please? Or at least some tape.
All right, 2 strikes, ladies. 2.
Well, she's just going to have to wing it now, I guess.
Ball.
Fouled away by Jones. We are being told Denver Bryant apparently did not look like she was feeling well, and so she left the field and left the dugout. Obviously, if we get more information on that, we'll let you know, but that may be the reason Roberts is in the game after Denver Bryant struck out swinging to end the fourth. Jones walked to the second, struck out in the third. It's 9-1-2 for Ole Miss. Rebels batted around in the third inning, scored 6, got an unearned run in the fourth. They are trying to make it to the semifinals as a double-digit seed. That is slapped foul.
It's a good at bat here by Naomi Jones.
Jones left side. It sure was a good at-bat. Finishing with a flourish, a leadoff base hit. Well, the last time Jayla Lassiter batted against Annabelle Weidra, she sent a ball out into the parking lot. And here she will send a ball into the mid of Godwin.
Trying to sneak a bunt in there after the home run and surprise the Auburn corners.
Corners are not going to be surprised if there's a bunt try here. Tate Whitley is known for that. Laid down a bunt single in the third. Tate was twisted there. Bunt, no bunt, bunt.
Trying to keep the new third baseman Roberts on her toes, I think. Becomes really interesting when a slapper like Tate Whitley understands that there's a new third baseman. She's well aware of what the infield is doing, what the corners are specifically doing. Maybe going to want to challenge Roberts here.
Annabelle Weidra with her 51st pitch in relief after Maddie Penta through 2 1/3 innings gave up 5 runs. An Auburn team that had an ERA of 2.06 on the year. Whitley squares again and takes a strike. Oh, the chess piece is back. Well, the Queen's Gambit. And Paige Smith is on deck.
Do we think it's out the entire game or only late in the game, or?
Well, our crew's pretty good, and we've only noticed it late in the game. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, me too.
What was your rally prop, or what were your rally props in the dugout at A&M?
We didn't have any. Back in the day, back in my time, you know, we barely had radar guns. But we didn't really have anything. We might, you know, have our spot in the dugout that you go to every time consistently, but.
You wish you had rally props?
No, I just kind of like to play it straight up. Maybe I'm old school in that way.
You would have had, if it was up to you, a rally iPad that is only showing softball.
Yeah, I would have been able to multicast games.
There's Denver Bryant. Obviously does not seem to be feeling well. Got something under her jersey, on her stomach.
Here, guys, I'm just observing Denver Bryant. They took her inside the Arkansas training staff area. They took her shoes off. She's putting her shoes back on right now, and it looks like she has a bag of ice underneath her jersey around her abdomen.
Courtney, thank you for taking a look at that. Again, we saw Bryant strike out swinging on a pitch from Brooke Vestal to end the 4th. Left the game after that. And they don't need her bat in the lineup for a while. She was the last out of the inning. Could re-enter. Ninth pitch coming to Whitley from Weidra. Whitley to short, knocked down, picked up by Peralta, and she stuck with it to flip to McConaughey for the out.
Now batting number 9, D. Smith.
6-4 fielder's choice, and Whitley replaces Jones at first. So here's Paige Smith. Home run yesterday. In innings where we've showed the Queen in the Ole Miss dugout, Paige Smith has never not homered.
What a stat.
Just spitting facts here. There it is. That's into right from Smith, and that ball is going to be caught. The Queen lies in rest. It's a big softball town, and that there are people that will do this. It'll be out on the roof of that house across the street sometimes watching games. That being said, we do love it when folks buy a ticket and, you know, come to the game and support the school and support the tournament. But a lot of people watching everywhere.
Well, it's amazing what good weather can do to bring some more people out. We just had lousy weather. Finally, the sun's out. They can come out to the ballpark and hang out.
Some of them hoping to see an Auburn rally. Heart of the order here would be a good chance to do it. Ellis, Tresvik, and Garcia seeing if they can square up Brooke Vestal in her second inning of relief. Brooke calls her own pitch. 3 times an Ole Miss pitcher has called a pitch on a 2-0 count. Is that just a total coincidence?
No, I think it's kind of some counts that have more meaning than other. I mean, every pitch is important, right? But on a 2-0 count, we've seen on a 3-2 count, a 3-1 count, kind of counts where it's a must throw a strike situation. That pitcher wants to feel comfortable with what she's throwing.
2-1 from Vestal. That's low. Bree Ellis has walked and reached on an error on a hard ground ball, scored twice. Tresvik behind her, a single and a walk, has scored twice, and then Garcia, a 2-run single. A productive part of the Auburn order. Down 2, 9 outs to go. And that one spins inside. Vestal walks Ellis, who has walked for the 2nd time.
I mentioned that there are a lot of right-handed hitters in this Auburn lineup, and Brooke Vestal is so good against right-handed hitters, a 117 batting average against her. Then look at the lefties. I mean, it's over 150 points higher that lefties bat off of her because of that curveball that she throws away from righties.
And the only Auburn batter to get a hit against Vestal in the first 5 is the only lefty in the lineup, Rose Roach. Tresvik on base twice. Her first start as a cleanup hitter this year. Now, Brooke Vestal gives us so much soft contact. 54 in a 3rd inning. She's only allowed 31 hits and 2 homers, but she has walked 37.
Yeah, and it really is interesting to dive into her numbers. And just to your point, the on-base percentage against Brooke Vestal with right-handed hitters close to 300, but left-handed hitters 400. So over 100 points higher. They're getting on base more against her. A lot of walks.
What was that right-handed batting average against her?
117.
So 117 average, 300 on base percentage.
Yes.
So typically you're walking or you're not getting on against Brooke Vestal.
And when you're a right-handed hitter hitting against Brooke Vestal with 2 strikes, her batting average against is .055. So if you're right-handed and you get down to the count against her with 2 strikes, odds aren't necessarily in your favor.
Six pitch to Tresvik. Well, there's Maddie Penta.
Warming up for the 3rd time today. First time before the delay, 2nd time for the real game start time, and 3rd time now.
Tresvik blasts one in the gap. That ball is gone. Isis Tresvik with 2 strikes says never tell me the odds. 7-7 on a Tresvik tater.
We were just talking about how difficult Brooke Vestal is to barrel up, especially for right-handed hitters. Remember, Brooke Vestal only given up 2 home runs all season. This will be the 3rd against a right-handed hitter with 2 strikes. Isis Tresvik stepping up in her first SEC tournament. Bree Ellis drew the walk, showing excitement for her teammate who ties up this game. Auburn right back in it.
She did the little too small silly going back into the plate, which we saw Jayla Lassiter do early. My, oh my. Well, Isis Tresvik making her debut in the cleanup spot today. I don't think it will be her last. What'd you see in that at-bat from Tresvik.
Just starting to get more on time as that at bat went on. So hard with the way that she varies her speeds. These hitters are just used to facing 68 plus, 70 plus miles an hour, and with Brooke Vestal drops it down all the way to 50, 55 with a ton of spin, deceptive spin. It's difficult to get on time and barrel up.
Tresvik with her 9th home run of the season.
Home run off of her bat, though, just flew off, and I love to see the emotion from Isis Tresvik doing it right back off Ole Miss. And Maddie Pinta's like, yeah, we're back in it. Yes, we are.
Little bullpen boogie. Garcia gets drilled.
Hey, Eugene.
Low and tight from Vestal, and Garcia reaches base for the 2nd time. He caught twice. Godwin bats. Smith at first. Smith not going. What kind of pitcher do you think Vestal is to run on? Is she easier because of her slower speeds and spin?
Yeah, I would think so, especially because, you know, it's not a lot of extra time, but it's definitely going to take a little bit more time for the ball to get to the catcher, and oftentimes, too, that her off-speed pitch could go more in the dirt. If you're a base runner, you're looking for that as well. The big shift on with Kamoku playing on the left side of second base.
Smith has taken some big leads. Brady keeps looking over there, and she may not need to steal at this point to get herself to second.
A lot of room on the right side, but they're just anticipating Lisenby, a right-handed hitter. Excuse me, Godwin.
Didn't matter where they shifted him. It's another free pass. So 4 batters in the inning, a walk, a homer, a hit by pitch, and another walk. And now is Jamie Traxel going to make a move with 2 out, nobody on?
It's been a tough inning for Brooke Vestal.
And this will be the move. Prairie in the 7th spot. 2 sacrifice bunts on the year. Packers on deck. And McCrary is going to take one low. Well, Packers not on deck, actually. Jesse Blaine has grabbed the bat to pinch hit. So the goal here will be to bunt the runners into scoring position for Blaine. One. Prairie squares again. That's in the dirt. Ole Miss made 3 errors in the 3rd inning, leading to 3 Auburn runs. And McCreary is trying to put the ball in play, not just for a sacrifice, but just to make Auburn, or make Ole Miss make a play again. Squares early, lays down the bunt to 3rd base, and the play is made there. Savannah Sykes delivers to the 2nd baseman Kamoku. The sacrifice goes 5-4. And Auburn has runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Blaine.
22 for 10. 22 for 10. 8 spot.
Both these teams have really used the bench today. This is the 5th position player Auburn's brought in off the bench.
And they both have big rosters and deep at every position.
Jesse Blaine has had a tough season. It's fallen out of the starting lineup. Mickey Dean liked her pinch hit at bats last weekend, though, against Mississippi State. She was 0 for 2, but he liked the at bat quality. Her slugging percentage down 237 points from her freshman year, Blaine. She's a great freshman. She's going to face a very unusual alignment. That's the second baseman, Kamoku, who is playing basically right behind Smith.
She moved over a few steps, now back to her regular position. Very interesting defensive alignment. We've seen Ole Miss really move around on the defensive side of things. Big shift towards the right side. Even Tate Whitley is more toward left center field. And Jayla Lassiter.
If Blaine could just hit a little blooper to the left side here, she might run for days, but she also might walk. 3-0. Not close. It didn't look like Ole Miss wanted anything to do with Jessie Blaine, frankly, especially after falling behind 2-0. So third walk of the inning. Bases full of Auburn Tigers. And Mickey Dean's going to make another move. He will bring Packer back in to re-enter and run at first. And he's also going to bring Roach into the game. She'll re-enter to bat in her original spot for McConaughey.
I'm thinking that they had that big shift on, just knowing that they were going to pitch around Blaine and throw more on the outside corner, and just in the event that she got a hold of one, it would be more toward the right side of the field. But with the power of Blaine and first base open, you can tell that they just didn't want anything to do with her. Load the bases, ground ball pitcher in the circle, have a chance now to turn a double play on a ground ball.
Jessie gets a hug, and Rose Roach gets a shot to give Auburn its first lead since 2-0, which it had going into the third. Bases loaded, one out. Roach was nearly hit, and then it was a strike. A little flare double in the fourth inning, a ground out to second before that. Rose Roach making only her 10th start of the year. And Roach through the right side will give Auburn the lead. An RBI single to score the pinch runner Smith, and from 6-2 down in the third, Auburn has an 8-7 advantage in the fifth.
Look at Auburn just battle back in this inning. Rose Roach, the 9-hole, after getting that called strike on the inside corner with that drop ball, then just gets her barreled to that pitch to just bust it through the right side hole. Love the energy, too, that she brings from the 9-hole, and Auburn back in it and ahead.
Rose Roach's first multi-hit game of the season comes in the SEC tournament quarterfinals. Had 7 hits in 40 games before today. Peralta takes one down and away. Grace Sparks trying to get it out somehow, some way. Into center field, she'll get an out, but Auburn will get a run. Throw is to third, Packer is out. Did the run score first is the question. And the answer is no. An outrageously aggressive move by Packer. Called on the field as a double play, with the inning ending before the runner Godwin scored. She ran right in the face of Lassiter and got cut down. Mickey Dean will call for review here. Dari, your guess on that is absolutely as good as ours. See you at some point. Maddie Penta's back in the game meanwhile and facing Savannah Sykes. So this weird game gets weirder. Penta 2 1/3 innings, 5 runs, her most allowed in a start this season, tied with Georgia and Oklahoma. And she re-enters a game she started for the first time all year. And she'll face Savannah Sykes. Fly ball right center. Packer pulls it in. Another good running play by Michaela Packer. So Packer has the first out for Penta. All right, talk me through this, Amanda, what this situation is like for Penta after she was hit so hard and she comes back into the game.
Yeah, not easy to do, especially on a warmer day, and it's been a really long game. And she's pitched a lot today when you think about how much she's warmed up and how much she pitched whenever she started the game, and now she'll pitch even more in relief. She's thrown a lot of pitches today, but a chance for a fresh start with the lead.
Guys, I've been watching Maddie back warm up again in the bullpen. She looked more confident this time. She was really spinning it. Lots of heat coming out of her hand. Her catcher was firing her up in the bullpen. Mickey Dean went back there a couple of times and checked in with her. And then before that last out, he pointed at her and said, next inning. She said, let's go.
Love it. It's inside to Allie. This is what it's all about right here. Mickey Dean going out to Maddie Penta.
Yeah, and remember when she came out, her and Mickey Dean had a long conversation in the dugout. I'm sure talking about quite a few things and letting her know, hey, if we get back in this, I want you to stay warm. You could see some more time. They were starting to hit Weidra up pretty hard too and have some longer at bats, some more contact. So not surprising that there's a pitching change. Maybe the surprise is just that they go back to Penta, not necessarily that there was a change.
Weidra 2 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, struck out 2. Up the ladder and fouled away by Allie. Maddie Penta with an ERA of .96. Arguably the best pitcher in the SEC this season. And Allie knocks her rise ball out of play. So what did you want to look for here for Maddie Penta in her second stint in the game, and what are you seeing so far?
I think that it's better control of her rise ball, being able to use that pitch up and in on the hands, especially to the right-handed hitters, and not overthrow that pitch. So seen a couple of swings on that pitch. You can tell she's trying to bring it more down, and she's going to try to find that sweet spot of a swing and miss pitch or a pitch that's a little bit too sweet that they can barrel up.
Well, not close to the target of Godwin. It's her shortest start since February 18th against Dayton. 2 scoreless in a game Auburn won 10-2.
2-2, like it's 2-2.
2-2. And struck her out. Off-speed brilliance from Maddie Penta.
That's a good sign too. First inning that she comes in relief, getting a strikeout. Second batter that she faces, this is a changeup, and Michaela Allie is so far out in front of this pitch. When you have to worry about 68, 69 up in the zone at your hands, it's so hard to get on time with that changeup.
281st strikeout of her season. Second best strikeout rate in school history. Closing in on Auburn's junior strikeout record. And second only behind her in-state rival Montana Fouts in the nation in strikeouts.
See how far off the plate that Lexi Brady is starting, giving herself a lot of room on the inside corner to get her barrel to an inside pitch. Got back a little bit more on the plate now. She was more off the plate in her last pitch she took.
That ball hit the bat going through the zone. Lexi Brady says it hit my guard. The call is a foul ball. Lexi Brady's telling her dugout, challenge this and you will win it. And she's going down to first on what was a call of a foul ball. I just heard Jamie Traxel ask, was that over the plate or not?
I think that is what they're going to look at. I do think that it did hit her, but that is the question. Was she over the plate or not? Going to be a review. Ole Miss.
I called a foul ball.
It looks like it hit her wrist area.
Challenge the ruling on the field. Ruling on the field is foul ball. Ole Miss is challenging hit by pitch.
It does look like her wrist is right in that river area, and you know, our center field camera is at a little bit of an angle, so you're not looking at that pitch straight on. I think that that ball could be more in the box than maybe I originally thought, but see if there's enough to overturn it being a foul ball and it being a hit by pitch.
What blank spaces do you have remaining on your weird bingo card? Weird softball bingo. I think about everything that can happen has happened in the game.
Well, who sings the song Blank Spaces? Isn't that a song?
Blank Space by Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yep.
She foul ball.
Foul ball.
Got to give it to Godwin back behind the plate.
Yeah, go ahead, Birmingham.
Who sounded like she sold that.
And here's Kayla Kamoku with a fly ball down the line and right, and cleaned up by Tresvik in foul territory to end the inning. Auburn will carry the lead into the 7th. They'll try to get some insurance before they get there. But not the quarterfinal round. Tennessee, Florida push to tomorrow. Denver Bryant back in the game and into right field. Bryant will turn, go for second. She is in there. Looks like the abdomen's feeling pretty good. Put some ice on it, and then Denver slaps a double to right.
She is so electric and brings so much energy to this Auburn team. It's a drop ball on the outside corner and lets that pitch get deep. Like the way that she stayed behind that pitch, stayed on it to drive it the opposite way. Leadoff double for Denver Bryant, who just brings the swag, and she is on the.
So runner at second, Bree Ellis against Clee Thermos. And ball one to Ellis, who's had a productive game. 2 walks, reached in an error, on base 3 times. She scored 3 runs. The Auburn 3 and 4 hitters, Ellis and Tresvik, have been on 6 times and scored 6 runs. One and 1 for Ellis. It's a low strike.
So important for Ole Miss and Clee Thermos to keep the score where it's at. Just down by 1 run.
No play. Two-run first for Auburn, 6-run third for Ole Miss. Auburn got 3 in the 3rd on 3 errors. Ole Miss 1 in the 4th. Auburn took the lead with 3 in the 5th. Long and winding road to get us to where we are. The Auburn Tigers' last trip to the SEC tournament semis. It's been a while. Won the SEC tournament championship in 2015 and 2016. This is their highest finish in the SEC since 17. Last made the semis in 2019. Ole Miss has only made the semis once, 2017, when they went on to win the whole thing.
I like when we talked to Mickey Dean about the year that they're having and asked him about his favorite part of the season. And he said his favorite part of the season is being counted out right away. That was his favorite part of the season. He said, favorite part, being ignored. And he said, I bring it to our team's attention. They want to ignore you, he tells his team. But now they're forced to talk about us. Finishing third in the SEC, making a lot of noise this season.
He said, I love when we play someone really good and people talk about how poorly the team we played against played, and then it happens the next weekend. And look,
2-2, ladies, 2-2.
we could easily do that today. Ole Miss gave up 3 unearned runs on 3 errors in the third. They didn't play well in that inning. But Auburn put the ball in play, keeps putting the pressure on. That ball is muscled a mile foul deep by Ellis.
Well, and we asked him, what's your goal, for this tournament? And he's like, we're going to go in and try to punch some people in the face and see how they respond. And he's like, we're going to get punched too, and I want to see how we respond. And say this has been quite the response for them.
Couldn't have been any more prophetic than that. Third inning looked like it would have been a knockout. But Auburn had a few tricks in the toolbox.
3-2, ladies, 3-2.
Down 6-2, but not out. Bree Ellis is going to see a 10th pitch from McKenna Cleathermos, and she will drive it into center field. They're going to run on Lassiter again, and Denver Bryant will make it this time for the first out, a productive one. Isis Tresvik coming up. Time for today's high-speed play. Brought to you by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
It's the home run off of her bat. Tied up this game and did it with 2 strikes against a pitcher that has a lot of success against right-handed hitters, Brooke Vestal, and she really defied the odds.
1 out.
Only the 3rd home run allowed by Vestal this season. Isis Tresvik with a single, a walk, a homer, and 3 runs scored. And Ole Miss is going to bring the infield in with 1 out. Terrific addition in the transfer portal. North Carolina A&T a season ago. Hit 10 homers in 44 games. Big South all-freshman team. And she has all SEC talent. An Auburn team that's put up 8. One more would set a new SEC tournament high. Tresvik chases a rise ball, 1-2. Mickey Dean earlier in the season, he felt like Isis Tresvik was having at-bats that were not being rewarded. He said, I didn't think her average was reflecting the quality of at-bats. He told her, just keep having those quality at-bats. The numbers will work out. This kid is in the Tresvik zone right now. He's ready to go. He's in fielding position, and he's not going to get it. The catcher, Brady, is huge second out for Cleathermos. And Auburn's going to let Abby Smith hit for Garcia. 2 out, runner at third. Smith came into the game as a pinch runner, stayed in to play defense. She's the better left fielder. Now she doesn't bat much, 6 for 20 with 2 walks, and Garcia is one of their best hitters. But Mickey Dean wants to keep the better defender in there with a lead in the 7th. It's an interesting call because you want to bring in another run. You probably would re-enter Garcia into the game.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about all the options here too. I think when you have Maddie Penta in the circle and a 1-run lead, you're just trying to defend that and thinking how hard it is to score off of her and want to make it even harder with her out in the field.
And Smith is no slouch here, though. 3-0 count. Jamie Traxel was coming out. Now she's returning to the dugout. Now she's going to go walk over to Cameron Ellison. Now she's going to stop.
You're good.
Collaborate and listen. And there's Georgia. Tony Baldwin's Bash Bulldog lineup. SEC home run leaders. So 3-1 here to Abby Smith. For Ole Miss, it'll be 8-9-1. Furbush, Jones, and Lassiter due up in the 7th inning. That's Jayla Lassiter, who's going to get a shot after a home run earlier in the game. 3-1 to Abby Smith. Looked like she was taking all the way. This game is officially 3 hours deep. Smith will slap one out to shorts. Jayla Lassiter is going to have re-entered in the 6th. Needs 3 more outs. First one of them she'll try to get against Ainsley Furbush. Designated player. Didn't like that strike call. Having a good afternoon. 2-run single in that 6-run third for Ole Miss. Penta's 0-1.
Ball. You can see that she has more control of that rise ball in this second appearance of the game. And being able to throw that pitch hard up and in on the hands opens up the changeup a little bit more.
Mickey Dean thought maybe that pitch was a strike. So each team has taken umbrage with one of the calls. It's 2-1. Furbush, Jones, Lassiter. Furbush fouls it away. Maddie Penta is trying to do something quite unusual. She's trying to earn the save in a game that she started.
I love our sport.
Isn't it great? There's Annabelle Weidra, who would earn the win. 2 2/3, 2 runs, 1 earned in the middle innings. And Furbush pops one up on the infield. Bryant closes late to grab it. And there is 1 out.
I mean, look even within that at bat, Kevin, talking about Maddie Penta and how she started this game, throwing a lot of off speed, a lot of changeups, and against Furbush, game on the line, 1-run lead. She goes to her speed, hard and in, threw an outside corner one time, but then ended up getting Furbush hard up and in with the rise ball for an easy pop-up.
So now Naomi Jones, who's walked, struck out, and singled. Infield is all the way in as Jones takes ball 1.
Ole Miss has just been so good late in the game, too. We've seen it coming into this game, some late inning heroics. You just can't count them out, especially with the fact that Jayla Lassiter is on deck and you have speed at the plate with Jones. Defense has to make a play.
Ole Miss's best pinch hit option would have been Maya Stevenson, but she pinch hit in the 2nd for Whitley. Struck out with the bases loaded to end the inning. So Jones will try to bunt or slap or walk her way on with Lassiter looming. Slow ground ball, fair ball. Godwin's throw, not going to make it in time. Jones does just that. A little 4-footer to put the tying run at first.
That's why putting the ball in play matters, especially when you're a speed player and you can just put the ball on the ground and not in the air and not strike out. Swinging bunt right out in front of home plate, but Jones is all speed, gets down the line so easily, and now you have a runner on base, one of your best hitters at the plate, and start over the top of the order.
You good now?
Aspen Godwin called for time. And a go-ahead run is at the plate.
Ball.
The freshman, Jayla Lassiter. A 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. Gave her team a 6-2 lead.
It's a good drop ball right there because you want to stay down against her, because back in the 3rd inning she hit this home run on a pitch that was up and in on her hands. You have to be so careful there. Such good bat speed and ability to keep that inside pitch fair and hit it for some power.
One and one. Lassiter drives it the other way. A gapper, and Packer's not going to get there. It's off the wall. A late break from Jones. She is going to hold up after a wide turnaround 3rd. Naomi Jones held at 3rd. The cards on her wristband scattered all over the infield. Lassiter is into 2nd, and Ole Miss has 2 on with 1 out.
We just showed you the inside pitch that she crushed to left field, and so Maddie Penta goes with an outside pitch, a curveball, and then Lassiter keeps her front shoulder in, lets that pitch get deep, and just sends it the other way. Good relay in by Auburn to keep Jones at 3rd base. She rounded hard, thinking she was going to score, and then Jamie Traxel threw up the stop sign, but now 2 runners in scoring position for a Tate Whitley hitter who has played so well in the SEC tournament.
Jayla Lassiter, young woman from Atmore, Alabama. It's about a 2-hour, 40-minute drive up 65 and 85 from Auburn. It's a player that you suspect the Tigers would have liked to get out of their home state. Right now, she is burning her SEC rivals. She has given Tate Whitley an opportunity with a 2-0 count. Ole Miss's batting average leader, her 45 hits, lead the team. 2-0. Whitley takes ball 3. It's interesting, too. Until Sunday, Whitley had started 38 straight games as the leadoff hitter. And then Jamie Traxel, the final game of the regular season, put Lassiter first, Whitley second. And now Lassiter, the leadoff hitter, doubles, and Whitley, the number 2 hitter, walks. And it is going to be yesterday's hero, Paige Smith, with a chance for another big swing.
We started out this game 3 hours ago talking about Ole Miss in the late innings, and here they are again. Exactly where they want to be, top of their order.
Late innings yesterday, it was Paige Smith off of Allie Kilponen and then off of the top of the left field wall. That made it a 5-3 game. Ole Miss would win by that score. And it is Paige Smith once again finding herself in the spotlight in the key moment of the game. First pitch. Whew. How about that? After a 4-pitch walk, that must be a take all the way. Otherwise, why would you have Paige Smith show bunt?
Exactly. Trying to put more pressure on Maddie Penta. The way that she struggled with her command in this game a couple hours ago.
But after giving away a strike, Smith chases one. Try to throw another one up there if you're Maddie.
Yeah, that or off speed in the dirt. gut feeling that she would take that one. Paige Smith is a senior hitter and the type of hitter that learns from her mistakes with in and at bat. Good adjustment there to see that pitch riding out of the zone.
Doubled and was hit by a pitch against Penta in her only 2 trips against her, and she strikes out here. Maddie Penta picks up her 3rd strikeout of the game and puts Auburn 1 out away from a win.
She took the rise before. It was a little bit further outside, and then she goes up and in on the hands. That is the Maddie Penta rise ball that will make her an All-American this year and potentially the SEC Pitcher of the Year.
Auburn on the doorstep, and Savannah Sykes, the cleanup hitter, the last chance for Ole Miss. And it hit her. Savannah Sykes hit by the pitch from Penta, and the game is tied at 8.
The batter was hit by pitch. The ball was not in the box, so it's a ball on the batter. Keep her here.
I think that's the right call.
And it will be a ball, so a 1-0 count to Sykes.
And Jones will go from the dugout all the way back to 3rd base. Maddie Penta is super emotional right now. So important for her to calm herself down. She was really fired up and frustrated by that call, and rightfully so. You want to win, but got to get your mindset back into this next pitch.
So again, because the ball was not over the plate, it is a ball. It is a 1-0 count on Savannah Sykes, who thought she had tied the game.
Ball.
And now she's got a 2-0 count.
That's a long review too, right? So there was a lot of just standing there for Maddie Penta. We've seen some pitchers during the longer reviews throw some warm-up pitches, but she chose not to, and now Savannah Sykes finds herself in a nice hitter's count.
3-0.
It's a straight-up take right here.
That's the tying run in Jones. That's the go-ahead run Lassiter. And that's another one in Whitley. 3-0 strike is thrown. Savannah didn't love it. .248 start of her career. Georgia for 4 years, Ole Miss for 1. Jamie Traxel said she is Warrior 1. And she is in a 3-2 count. The ultimate count. 3-2. 2 out. Bases loaded. Final inning. 1-run game. When you're in the backyard as a kid, you dream about exactly this. Away we go. And away we will go again.
She chased ball 4. It's so hard in a full count, bases loaded late in this game, to take that pitch, but Maddie Penta just doesn't seem to have her best command in this inning.
Take another deep breath, folks. The 3-2. Struck her out! Auburn escapes. And the first team into the SEC tournament semifinals, the Auburn Tigers, improbably and ultimately 8-7 over Ole Miss.
Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and